Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be super quick. It's just going to be a little park and bark type of video because I've got some news and updates I want to share with you guys, which will help you understand about what type of content is going to be posted in the coming weeks. I've got a lot of things I need to be videotaping and just taking content up over the next few days that is going to be posted within the next few weeks and within the month. So I'm just going to give you a little update on what's going on in my life and what you can look forward to. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so as you all know, a big goal of mine for 2024 was to buy my first home and start the home buying process. So once the new year hit, I really started taking the steps to looking at homes to purchase and going through the whole home buying process, which is all very new to me. I'm not very up to date or educated on like the lingo and the terminology and all the things you had to do, so I'm using a lot of guidance from a lot of people around me, but we're making progress. So let's talk about the progress. First thing, I got in touch with a really great realtor. My realtor's name is Olivia, and she is actually also a performer at Universal. So Ethan actually recommended her to me because he works with her a little more often than I do. So he trusts her really well. I also know her husband really well, who's also a performer at Universal. So I just would have loved to work with her, and we got to know each other and introduced ourselves, and she agreed to help me out with the home buying process and finding my first home. So I got in contact with her, and the first step before you want to even start looking at homes is you really want to get pre-approved for a mortgage loan, because the last thing you want is to find the home of your dreams, go to finally put in all the paperwork and application to get the loan and find out you're not qualified, or they're not going to approve you because you don't have enough money saved up, or you don't make enough money for the year to afford the house in their eyes. So that was the first step, which is definitely the scariest step because it is kind of make or break, and that decision is going to decide what type of house you can afford and what type of houses you can be looking at, and if that's even in the budget of what houses are going for in today's market. The good thing is that housing interest rates are finally going down. Thank freaking God. They're not going down like a ton, but they're going down, which is what counts. So that does make houses a little more affordable. And I think now is a really good time to be looking at houses, just because if the rates get too low, then everyone is going to want to buy a house, and it's going to be a very competitive market, and it's just a little bit harder to get an offer accepted. So Olivia recommended some lenders to me to put in some applications with. And I can successfully say that I am officially approved for a mortgage loan, which is very exciting. I actually have another application in with another mortgage broker to just see if I can get an even better rate and see what they can do from a broker perspective as opposed to a just mortgage lender. So I'm still waiting to hear on that, but I do have one pre-approval, so that is all I need to start looking at houses. I'm not going to go into too much detail as far as like just for my own safety, as far as like what I was exactly approved for and like where these houses are that I'm looking at, just for my own safety, but I'll give you the general details. But basically what being pre-approved means is that this mortgage lender has said, okay, we are approving that you find a house that is this market price or lower, and you're putting this much money down that you say you want to put down, that we will approve you for this loan, and you can then purchase that home, is basically what they're saying. At the current interest rate. Obviously, the interest rates can go up and down, and that could affect things, but in general, like for this rate, that you will be good. And they give you like an estimated what your monthly payment would be, because for me, I am more concerned about what the monthly payment is and how much I'm actually paying per month, as opposed to what the actual like ticket price of the house is. Yeah, I do want to find a house that will suit my needs and is something I would love to live in for years and years. So yeah, I have my pre-approval. I have another application that will hopefully give me an answer within the next coming days, but I am officially actually looking at houses, and we'll start the house hunt in the next few days. Me and Olivia are gonna go out and kind of look at some properties that I've been saving on a site that she set me up with. Now my budget isn't like the widest range, let's just put it that way. So it is definitely not impossible. There are plenty of houses within my price range that have what I'm looking for. It's just not the biggest budget to where I can go crazy and be super specific with everything that I want. I'm trying to be very realistic in this process because I know I don't have the biggest range, and ultimately a lot of things about a house can ultimately be changed or fixed. You know, paint can be changed, cabinets can be redone, a sink can be taken out and changed to update, appliances can be updated, flooring can be updated, all of that can be done, and it doesn't have to be done right away as soon as I move in. You know, some things that are a little more like in your face or a little more need to be done in a timely manner, yes, those can be done right away, and I can figure out that into the budget and think, is the house worth it for how much work needs to be put in? But ultimately, I'm hoping that a lot of things will be very minor changes that I can do myself, so I don't have to hire contractors and all of that, and can ultimately make the house my own as the years go on. Let me talk about what I'm looking for in a house so you can kind of get an idea of, when you do see the clips of the houses I'm touring, you can kind of think to yourself if they're a good fit or not. I'm ultimately looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, preferably 1-story, just because I don't need anything crazy big, but I'm not opposed to a 2-story, but from what I've seen, most 3-bedroom, 2-baths are gonna be 1-story. I really want a fenced-in yard, because another thing I have just been putting off and putting off is my dream of also owning a dog, and the big thing that I've been holding myself back on with that is that, well, one, I'm very busy, but 2, I wanted to have my own house with a fenced-in yard. I didn't want to deal with pet fees and pet rent, and I wanted to just let the dog out when I needed to, so I wasn't so constrained to always having to take it on a walk with my busy schedule. So I definitely want a fenced-in yard so the dog can run around and safely and not escape and all of that type of stuff. So, which obviously you can always put in a fence, so it's not a total deal breaker if it doesn't have a fence, but this is ultimately what I'm looking for, and are definitely big pluses. I would also love a pool, but I know that's a little on the far end because pools add a lot, much more value to the homes. So if it doesn't have a pool, it's not the end of the world. But I just like coming home at the end of the day, especially on the hot summer months, and being able to go in the pool. But it's not the biggest deal. I love an open layout. That would be great, with a nice kitchen that is good for entertaining, you know, updated appliances. Preferably a mix of hard flooring and carpet. There are a lot of houses in Florida that have like all tile or all hard floor, which isn't the worst thing, but I just do love some carpet here and there, so I would love to find a house that has carpet, preferably in the bedrooms. But another very specific thing I'm looking for, which is not something I've really told Olivia, but it's something I definitely am keeping an eye on when I'm looking at homes, is the kitchen sink needs to be able to hold my drying rack. And what I mean, if you've seen any videos of my previous kitchens, I have the drying rack that goes over the kitchen sink, and essentially you wash your dishes, you put the dishes on the rack, and the remaining water falls back into the sink. And I just love it. I love that rack. I think it saves so much space. I just love the way it looks, and I've had some issues in my current house with that rack and my roommates, so I need to find a house that can accommodate that rack. Just because I've seen that like some houses, depending on where the sink is and how the cabinets are structured, they're just not gonna fit. So that is something I am looking for. I need to be able to accommodate, because I'm not gonna do a side rack for my dishes. It's just not happening. Another big thing for me is obviously safety. So I do want to feel like I'm in a very safe neighborhood and a safe surrounding area. I am looking in about 3 different locations around Orlando at houses, but I'm not gonna really be able to tell if those neighborhoods are safe until I'm actually there and driving around, because I'm not the best with geography, and I'm not the best at knowing all areas of Orlando and knowing which is safe and which isn't, because it can be very deceiving just from a listing. I would love a garage, honestly. Not that I'm really gonna put a car in it, but just for storage purposes, I just like the look of a garage. Some houses here have like just like a carport, which I mean isn't the end of the world, but we'll see. Like I said, I'm really trying to not be super picky and I'm trying to be very realistic, because I know I don't have a big budget, and I just want to make this like dream of owning a home a reality and just put a lot less stress on myself. And I think some of the DIY projects will be really fun. And yeah, I think that's kind of the basics of what I'm looking for. Again, that house hunting content will come up in the next few weeks, as I'm gonna start looking at houses within the next couple days. But I'm very, very excited, and I'm excited to get like the stressful part out of the way, and now it's more into the fun part of actually looking at houses. And then the stress will come again when it comes time to, will they approve of my offer, or will they accept my offer, and will I actually close and like do all that stuff. But that is down the line. We do have some time. It is only January, and I'm looking to move in the summer, so we got some time. But closing a house does take a couple months, so we do need to get the ball rolling. That is my little update for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below to stay up to date on my latest content. You can also follow me on Instagram or TikTok at Graf100 to stay up to date on the content there. And I will see you next week, Thursday at 6 p.m. Bye!